How are you restoring your energy each day specifically for weight loss? In this training, I'm going to provide for you 3 practical things that you can do to help restore your energy so you can not only lose weight, be more energetic and do more things, but just feel better about life in general. So hi and welcome, my name is Eric Simpson. Just in case you don't know who I am an online weight loss specialist working with busy professional women who are looking to transform the way their bodies look, feel and move without having to count calories or spend hours exercising every day or feeling as though they're having to try and be 100% perfect. But let's get back to today's session specifically. How can you restore your energy levels so that you can lose weight? I just want to give you a few examples of people who have gone through the practical steps I'm going to be sharing with you throughout this training that you can implement quite literally starting today. A few people here. So Becky on the far left lost 28 pounds after restoring her energy and was able to do a nice walk at a place called Cheddar Way. You can see at the top of that walk is her partner. She was at the bottom of the walk about to take that on. Moving more to the right, you've got Anne celebrating her 70th birthday with me during a session. And that was on the back of doing what's called a sportive ride the day before. I think she rode something like 30-40 miles a day before and then came in when I used to work offline for a physical training session. So, credit to her for doing that. Then you've got Virginia for her 80th birthday. She wanted to lose 13 pounds. She did that, felt a whole lot better, was able to go to France, had the energy to go to France and sit and have a coffee with her 2 sons. And then you've got Sue, who took off 71 pounds and was able to do a Kilimanjaro challenge. So this is not just about weight loss, it's also about the other things it allows you to do when you've got that extra bit of energy that we all need from time to time. And let's be honest, we know that life can be challenging at the best of times, and weight loss does require a certain amount of energy. And if you are depleting yourself in lots of other areas, you're not going to be able to do the things you want to do in terms of the planning, the preparation of food, fitting in those exercise sessions. It's just not going to happen for you. So today really is a focus on how do we get your energy restored in a practical way. So we're going to be breaking it down into 3 specific areas, or at least I am. And those areas are going to be physical restoration of your energy, emotional, and if you're that way orientated, spiritual as well. But if you're not, just focus on the first 2, which is physical and emotional energy. Now, let's just assume, let's have a little drink here. In any given day, we have 90 units of energy. And those 90 units of energy you can see are spread across 30 for physical, 30 for emotional, and 30 for spiritual. As I said, if you're not of a spiritual orientation, make it a simple 50-50 split across physical and emotional. Now, before we get into how we do that, I just want to talk a little bit about your typical day, because this is really important to understand, because we all have a typical day, assuming you're working, which is made up of 4 specific areas. Area number 1, how you start your day. Area number 2, how you start your work day. Area number 3, how you end your day. And area number 4, how you end the day. So let me just go into these 4 areas before we get into, or me sharing a little example with you before we get into those practical things we can do to restore our energy levels. So how you start your day. For some people, the start of the day can be quite chaotic. Quite literally, they get out of bed and the day is already in chaos. They just don't know what they're doing. Things are not planned out properly. It's just not a great start to the day. So already they're losing energy. And then how you start your work day. Again, for some people, they walk into their place of work and it's chaotic. So they're losing energy again. And then how you end your working day. For a lot of people, the way they end their working day can quite literally be they can't wait to get out of the office and get in the car and get home because they're absolutely frazzled. And then finally, how you end your day. Again, for a lot of people, the way they end the day is just to get home, maybe have some tea, watch a bit of TV, and just end up absolutely frazzled on the sofa, go to bed, and then repeat the whole process the very next day. So I just want to share with you an example of somebody who was experiencing something like that, because as you can see on the left, these 4 aspects of your day can either up your energy levels, or if they're not managed properly, they can deplete your energy. And the lady I'm going to speak about here is Jan. What I'm going to say now about Jan is things that she said herself publicly, so I'm not divulging anything that she hasn't already said. But Jan was busy. I call her Busy Jan. Jan would quite literally wake up in the morning and be struggling to find her tights. It would then go from not being able to find the tights to getting into work with minutes to spare. She worked in a department store, retail store, and she'd arrive there maybe 5-10 minutes before the store opened up. So she'd quite literally be sorting herself out while people were stood at the door waiting to come in. So you can imagine she was quite frazzled before she'd even started the working day. And her units of energy, I said you have 90 units of energy a day, she'd probably already used up maybe 30 units of energy before she'd even started a working day. And that's how Jan's day kind of went. 30 units used up by 9 a.m. and she's trying to lose weight. Well, long story short, we were able to restore Jan's energy levels and she was able to go on and lose 28 pounds. Now I know you may be looking at Jan there and thinking, crumbs, depending on how much weight you want to lose yourself, let's say it's 40, 50, 60 pounds, you may be thinking you want to look like Jan looks now, but it's all relative, isn't it? But the point being, we had to restore her energy levels before she could really put in the emotional, physical effort into doing the things that are required to lose weight. And around those 4 topics of how you start your day, how you start your working day, how you end your day, all those 4 things, here are some questions to be asking yourself around these 4 areas. Number 1, is it intentional? How you start your day, and these questions apply to all these 4 areas. I'm not going to repeat the 4 areas again, but is what you're doing intentional, or is it just haphazard? Is it just happening? Is it positive? Does it move you in the right direction? Is it planned, and does it make you feel good? So those are 4 questions that you can be asking yourself around those 4 areas. Okay, let's get into specifics then of how are you restoring those 90 units of energy each and every day. And we start off with area number 1, which is physical. So what are you doing on a physical level to restore your energy levels? Well, here are some practical steps that you can do. First of all, sleep. And if you're on my YouTube channel watching this right now, definitely go and check out a video interview I did with a lady called Anandi Francis, who's the sleep guru, an expert in sleep patterns and how to get a good night's sleep. So definitely go and check that out. But things we can do are sleep. Anywhere between, I would say, 6 and 8 hours a day is typically what people need to restore themselves. That's going to restore energy. Then your nutrition goes without saying. What you eat is what you become. And if you're eating foods that are very highly processed, high in sugar, they are going to 100% deplete your energy levels. So we need to make some changes in terms of our nutrition. Again, on this channel, there are videos on good nutritional eating. So you can find those by just surfing around the video. And then, of course, exercise. But you need to understand, you need good nutrition first before you can do good exercise. People often get this one mixed up. They try and get involved in some sort of activity without first of all addressing their nutrition. And if they don't address their nutrition, they won't have the energy to do the exercise. And equally, if you go back to not addressing your sleep, you won't have the mental capacity to even begin to address your nutrition. So that's physical energy. 3 things that you can do starting today to restore some of your physical energy. Let's now talk about emotional energy. So restoring your emotional energy, hobbies, believe it or not, doing something that you enjoy doing can restore your emotional energy. I have clients, I had one particular client, her big thing was making jewelry. She liked making jewelry. She had a hut in her back garden, and she'd go in there, lock herself away for several hours at a time and just create jewelry. And that was a great way for her to do something she enjoyed, and it helped to restore her emotional energy levels. And when I asked her how often she'd done that, or when was the last time she'd done it, she hadn't done that for maybe months. So what is it that you haven't done for months that you know is a really nice hobby to do that restores your energy levels? For me, I like playing, for example, tennis. That's one of the things I enjoy doing. And when I go out and hit a few balls, especially on a nice sunny day, that definitely restores my emotional energy levels. So what is it that you could be doing to restore your emotional levels of energy? Relationships, connecting with people, family, have you got a sibling that you know you enjoy speaking to but you've not spoken to for quite a while, or maybe it's a parent you've not spoken to for a while, or a friend, or maybe a work colleague. You know, relationships are a great way to restore your emotional balance and get those energy levels back up again. And then tasks completed, you know, getting jobs finished. There's nothing more depleting, or I said there's nothing more depleting. It can be very depleting knowing you've got a lot of tasks that you know need completing, but you keep putting off. You know what, go and complete one of those tasks. Maybe not the biggest task you've got to do, unless you feel really energetic about it, but just completing little tasks is a great way to restore your energy levels, because those little tasks, if left uncompleted, believe it or not, they're in the background, specifically in your subconscious mind, just gnawing away at you and depleting those energy units that you have. You know, those 90 units I said you have. You know, if you've got jobs that are uncompleted, they can be the cause of you losing a lot of energy, but in the background in your subconscious. So, final one then, spiritual. And again, if you're not into the spirituality side of things, you don't have to be to apply these 3 practical steps. Number 1 is gratitude. They reckon if we can put ourselves in a state of gratitude, that is one of the high states of mind that we can be in emotionally, be in a state of gratitude. And I'm not talking about necessarily having to be gratitude for things like, you know, although you should be grateful for the fact you're alive and living and you're here today, able to listen to this, but simple little things. You know, grateful for the fact that you maybe have a job, grateful for the fact that maybe when you look out of your window, maybe possibly you have a nice view to the countryside, or maybe you live near the countryside and you can go into the countryside. Grateful for things like being able to drive your car, being able to drive a car. Now that might sound really silly to say that. You might think, well, yeah, of course I can drive a car, why would I be grateful for that? But it's looking at those small things sometimes and just slowing ourselves down and just taking a look around ourselves at what we can be grateful for. Because, you know, life has a way, certainly I know this applies to me, of where I can just get busy and not stop and take a look at the simplest things in life that I could be grateful for if I just slowed down and took a look at those things. Meditation is something that is highly recommended by a lot of people. But look, if you're not into meditation, and a lot of the busy professional women that I work with, when I say to them, or even mention meditation, that it's kind of like, well, hang on, I just haven't got that sort of time, Eric. Well, actually, it's probably one of the most beneficial things that they could do for themselves. And if you don't like the term meditation, maybe just some quiet time where you can just sit and literally do nothing. I'm not talking about sitting for hours on end. It might just be quite literally 5 minutes where you just sit in a quiet part of your house or at work where there's quiet, where you're not going to be disturbed, and just close your eyes, not go to sleep, but just literally close your eyes, set your alarm if you have to, and try and think about nothing, or just let thoughts go through your mind. And if you find it's a negative thought that comes into your mind, maybe just accept it's in there and try and move beyond that. But giving yourself an opportunity just to be quiet for 5 minutes a day can go a heck of a long way. And then reading or listening to an audio. That's something I do quite regularly. You know, typically if I'm on my bike cycling, what I like to do sometimes I listen to music that's quite uplifting and motivational and a bit pumping, depending on what kind of training session I'm doing. I might need that or have that to help me get through the session and make it a more enjoyable session. Other times, maybe I go and sit in my office, sit in the chair, put soft lighting on, get a book out and just read a book. Again, a great way for me just to connect. And I say, if spirituality is not something you want to do, take out the word spirituality or spiritual energy and just put in mindset energy if you want. So hopefully those 3 things, those 3 practical things I've just described can help you to restore a little bit of emotional energy, physical energy and spiritual energy if you use that. If you have any questions at all on this topic, then please feel free to reach out to me. More than happy to have a conversation with you. If you're interested in finding out how I can help you, there should be a link below this video where you can book a free call if you wanted to do that and discuss your own weight loss. Or alternatively, I have also put a link in this description about a free webinar that I run, and it's how busy professional women can drop 2 to 3 dress sizes in the next 90 days without counting calories or spending hours exercising every day. Again, there should be a link in the description below. And finally, if you found this of use, of benefit, then do give it a thumbs up, which would be great. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. So until my next training, take very good care, and bye for now.